Pilot episode. Who am I? So in this video, I will tell you who I am. My name is Artom. I'm 20 years old. I live in Georgia and I'm a full-time creator on Skool. So that's pretty much it, okay? But I'm gonna dive a little deeper with my story. So I started as a 3D modeler. So I used to make 3D models. As you can see, I made like hyper realistic 3D models. This was a model of a fire extinguisher specifically for video games. And so then when I made these 3D models, I decided to actually create my own video game. And so I was really passionate about like video games, playing video games as a child. I remember I used to spend a lot of time playing Minecraft. And what I did is I created this 3D video game of tic-tac-toe. So you probably know tic-tac-toe. It's like a game that you play. You can play it on a piece of paper. You can play it on your computer or your phone, right? But what I did is I decided to take it a step further and create tic-tac-toe with hyper realistic graphics. So I even made a video about that. If you want, I can send it to you on Instagram or on Skool. So just DM me, right? And I'll send you like a full video. It's like a 5-minute video where I broke down exactly how I created this video game. And then people started asking me, how did you do that? So what I did is I created a YouTube channel where I taught people how to create 3D models. So this was one of the first videos where I explained how I created this card in a desert scene breakdown. So it was like a car in desert, and I created an entire scene, and I told people how to do the same. So that's what I did. And then I created a bunch of videos like these on my YouTube channel. But then the question that was always popping up in my videos, it was this: how do you speak English so well? So the thing is, I was a non-native speaker, and I mentioned that I think in every video, or I think I didn't mention that, but when I was like creating these videos, I mentioned that I was a non-native English speaker. And then people started asking me, how do you speak English so well? Even native speakers started asking me that question. And I'm like, I guess I'll just create a YouTube channel about that instead. So what I did is I created a YouTube channel teaching people how to speak fluent English. That was my passion. My first passion was creating 3D models and stuff. And then my next passion was actually creating videos and helping people speak fluent English. And so I got my first 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Then it was like 5,000 subscribers. And at some point I achieved even 7,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And then I created a community helping people speak fluent English. So that's when I started actually monetizing everything. So at that point, I created my Skool community. I got my first couple of sales. It was really cool. Then I started coaching people. Then I created this community called Globalpreneurs, specifically where I taught people business English. And then I started getting my high ticket clients. And so I helped them full time become fluent in English. So they achieved amazing results. They became fluent. They started talking with native speakers. They even started going on podcasts with native speakers as well in English. So that was pretty cool. And then they also started getting job opportunities as well. So that was a transformation that they went through. And that was a transformation that I went through. So I achieved my first 7,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And then I started monetizing my Skool community with high ticket clients and high ticket coaching. And so then what I did is I just continued networking and helping people on Skool. And then I met my first mentor. So I met this guy named Matt Rice inside one of the communities on Skool. And he helped me tremendously with mindset. Because before, I didn't really know how to monetize and how to like sell high ticket on Skool and outside of Skool. And I thought it's kind of like impossible, specifically in my niche, because non-native speakers, it's hard for them to pay a lot of money because, well, they make money not in dollars, in a different currency, and that currency is probably weaker than dollar, right? And because of that, they cannot pay high ticket for your services. But what I realized is that, well, actually, you can find people in any niche who can pay you high ticket. And so my mentor, Matt Rice, actually told me and actually explained me and actually taught me how to do that, okay? And then I met this guy named Goose. So this guy is basically a Skool, how to explain? He's like a Skool ambassador or Skool mascot, and he taught me a lot about how to create an engaged Skool community, and that was amazing. So I learned from all these different people. I found mentors, I found clients, and it was just amazing for me. And so then this was basically the overview of my story. So first I started as a 3D modeler and also a 3D video game creator. And then people started asking me, how did you do that? So I'm like, okay, I'll just create a YouTube channel teaching people how to create 3D models. And so then people started asking me, how do you speak English so well? And I'm like, okay, fine. I will just create a YouTube channel and Skool community about spoken English. And so then, guess what happened? People started asking me the same question. How did you do that? And so that's why I decided to create this community, helping creators monetize on Skool. So our community is called Skool Creators, and the link is in the description. So if you're watching this from my YouTube channel and you want to join this community, the link is in the description. It's absolutely free. You can join this community and learn from me. And by the way, everything from this list 10x'd my income. So when I started as a 3D video game creator, I was dead broke. Okay, I didn't make any money. I was just like really passionate about this thing, but I didn't make any money. But when I started my 3D modeling YouTube channel, I started making some money. I learned how to monetize, and that was great. But then the missing piece for me was mindset. And so I learned that when I created my YouTube channel and Skool community about spoken English. So I learned all these three things, which is passion, monetization, and mindset, while I was on my journey. And now I decided to create a YouTube channel. Oh, sorry, a YouTube channel as well, by the way, and a Skool community helping creators monetize on Skool. If you are a non-native speaker, by the way, I also have a Skool community. I mean, not I specifically, but my client. So right now I'm working with a client who has a Skool community specifically for English learners who want to improve their spoken English. And a little birdie told me that you can join this community right now, and the link is in the description. So I'm helping my client, and I'm inside that community full time as well, and I'm helping people with their spoken English inside that community on the side, right? Of course, my main priority is helping creators monetize on Skool, but if you want to get some advice from me and from my client, because this guy is really successful, he also has like a lot of subscribers on YouTube, you can join our community, and the link is in the description. But if you're here for Skool and if you're here to learn how to monetize your Skool community, then let me tell you something groundbreaking. Passion, mindset, and monetization. So these three things were essential in order for me to succeed on Skool. Because if you have passion, if you know how to monetize that passion, and if you have the mindset to actually do the action steps in order to monetize your passion, then you can succeed pretty much anywhere, okay? And so I had a passion for 3D modeling. I also had a passion for English. Then I learned how to monetize 3D modeling by working on freelance websites and stuff. Then I also monetized my passion for English as well on Skool. And that allowed me to basically make some money. But then what I really needed to learn was mindset. And so I learned that from Matt Rice, from Goose as well. I also learned how to create engaged communities from Goose when I met with him. And that allowed me to basically combine passion, monetization, and mindset together. And I also learned mindset by just simply engaging with people and helping my clients. Because you see, learning English is all about mindset, kinda, okay, in a sense. Of course, you need to learn grammar, but at the same time, you also need to learn mindset stuff. And mindset is really important because if you don't have the right mindset when learning English, then you're probably gonna suck. Then every time you speak to a native speaker, or every time you go on a podcast with somebody, or every time you try to record a video in English, you're gonna suck. Why? Simply because you will believe that you cannot speak fluently. And if you believe that you cannot speak fluently, if your mindset is fucked, then guess what? Well, you cannot speak fluent English. And so mindset is really important. It all starts in your head. And then your actions follow. And then after you do certain things, after you do certain behaviors, your results manifest. So mindset, actions, and then results. But that wasn't even the biggest lesson for me. The biggest lesson for me was this simple overlap. So if you want to create a successful Skool community, and if you want to teach people something you know and get paid for that, what you really need is just find what people need, okay? Find what people actually want. And for me, it was just people asking me, how did you do that, right? And then just helping your younger self, because that's what I literally did on my journey. So what I did is I simply started helping people with 3D modeling because that's what I was struggling with in the past. Then I started helping people with spoken English because that's what I struggled with in the past. And now I started helping creators monetize on Skool because that's what I was struggling with in the past. So that probably makes a lot of sense. And this is pretty much all you need to know in order to create your Skool community. Of course, there's a lot more to that, but that's the overview, okay? So tell me, what's your little story on Skool? So that was my little story. I shared my little story in this video. And tell me, what's your little story on Skool? I'm really curious to know. Just write down a comment, maybe under my YouTube video, maybe inside my Skool community called Confident Skool Creators, under the post, okay? And I would love to learn about your story. I would love to connect with you guys. And I see you inside of my community and I see you inside of Skool.